And welcome back to the design series that complements the build series, aka Project 87. In the first video, we went over how the RTMRs work. In this video, we're going to design the rest of the nose harness. Let's ignore this diagram for now and show you how we arrived at this diagram. For the front of the car, we will be getting the power from that green fuse. This is what supplies power to the RTMRs that we designed previously. This is the passenger side of the engine bay. That grommet in the top right is where those cables pass through that you saw in the previous clip. This portion of the design is actually the simplest part. We need to run the power cable from inside through that grommet down this frame rail to the RTMRs. I'll point out something, although not important to this video. Alongside this is where all the control wires for the RTMRs are, and that's actually most of the harness that comes through this entire area. Let's get a measurement of that path so that we can use it to understand how much amperage we can carry. That band is 0 for this measuring cable. Back out here in the engine bay, we'll just run it along the bottom of these other cables. Just makes sense, keeps everything together. Here we can see it laying in the frame rail and passing between the radiator, the frame rail, into the front area. And here's our final mark for our length. Now that we know our total length, let's specify our voltage at this terminal on the RTMR. Let's assume 14.3 volts is being generated from the alternator. Here's what an 8 gauge cable would give us. A 0.28 volt drop, a 1.96% voltage drop, resulting in 14.02 volts. And here's what it looks like if we choose 6 gauge. And now 4 gauge. This is what we get. It's important to note that these calculations are done at 80 amps. Now we probably won't ever draw 80 amps. At nighttime with the fan running, we're probably in the 40 to 50 amp range. So we are super conservative on this cable size. Whether we pick 8, 6, or 4, it doesn't really make any difference. But we will be picking 4, and let me show you why. We have about 3.5 feet of alternator cable. So that's the cable running from the alternator into the cabin to the power distribution, then this 66 inches back towards the RTMR. This changes things considerably, so we do have to add them together. We have now achieved in 9 feet of 4 gauge what was only done with 66 inches of 6 gauge. Now this may not seem completely relevant to you at first glance, but the idea is to keep the voltage the same at the RTMR post as the alternator post and the positive battery post, and any other main distribution point in the car. Our more accurate draw of the fan and all the lights in the front of the car running at nighttime, about 40 amps, looks like this. The takeaway for this is, the more voltage that's available, the less current the loads will draw. So always design with this in mind. Here's a very basic layout of what we're actually designing right now. This main power connector is the cable we were just dealing with, a 66 inch long 4 gauge. This now is designed to deliver as clean voltage right to the back of the RTMRs. When power leaves the RTMRs, it follows the orange line with the arrows, the main trunk, one splitting to the right and one splitting to the left to distribute power to all the lights, the horns, the retractors, etc. Just to make sure everybody's able to follow along, let's see the power come into the RTMRs and approximately where it will leave from the RTMRs. Here we can see the black connector, which is a DTHD size 4, that's for the main power cable, and a DTM 12 position for the trigger connector. And they will live somewhere around down here. This allows us to disconnect the RTMRs and the nose wiring harness completely from the rest of the car without pulling a long run of wire from the interior. Alternatively, we could put these connectors just inside the firewall grommet, but that's a lot of messing around to pull those connectors back through the grommet. So that's these two connectors. Let's look at the main trunk routing and all the connectors for the lights and horns next. Here's where the main trunk will exit from behind the RTMR mounting panel. Once it exits towards the front, it'll hop up onto the bumper beam and then run to both sides. This is definitely one of those circumstances where keeping it simple is going to pay off big time. With the bumper beam removed for clarity, here's a bracket that I made that holds all the connectors. You can also see the horn connector just here at the bottom right. Let's pop some labels in there so you can see where each connector sits. On the driver's side, I've raised the retractor for more clarity, but you can see the connectors lay out the exact same direction. And just to keep everybody orientated, that's these two clusters. One side is 30 inches and the other side is 28 inches, so not perfectly balanced, but they're pretty close. Let me show the actual amperage of these loads now. Let's start with the cooling fan. I don't know the exact draw yet because I haven't chosen the exact fan, but it won't be more than 30 amps. Next we have the horn at approximately 5 amps. Hard to tell on horns. It's super annoying to listen to that while measuring the draw. 7.35 amps seem to be about the average for retractors when they're moving up. And as expected, when they're moving down, they only draw about 2.5 amps. So not much. For these amperages, if you need to know what the combined amperage for both horns is, for example, well, 10 amps, because there's two of them. So whatever number you see here times 2 is the proper number, done at 14.3 volts. The headlight low beams checking at 1.37 amps, while the high beams are at 2.25 amps. The fog light checks in at 0.7 amps. Daytime running lights only draw 0.161 amps. The constant lit light, the white light of the bumper lights, only draw 0.3 amps. The amber portion of the turn signals, the one that actually indicates direction, 2.789 amps. At this point you may be thinking to yourself like, man, these numbers cannot be correct. But I assure you they are all correct and they've all been measured directly on the car. All these lights are LED, and that's the answer. That's why the amperage is so low. And we're not talking about LED bulbs, we're talking about devices that were designed to be LED, with optics and everything to help them. And back to our RTMR diagram from the first video. I did make a mistake here, so I wanted to point it out, and I want to show you why designing things ahead of time helps you tremendously. It's a simple fix. That 10 amp fuse was supposed to be a 20 amp fuse. I'm pretty sure we can omit the second cooling fan relay as well, so that's a spare now. Remember this big diagram from the beginning? Well, it's far too hard to utilize on video like this, so what we're going to do is look at it in small pieces. First, let's take a look at the trigger connector. Here are where all the triggers for the relays pass from the inside of the car to the RTMRs. Now remember, this connector is right next to the RTMRs. Placing it there gives us not only the ability to disconnect it at any time, but also to do testing. On this side you can see all the triggers, and the last one labeled parking lights. Now this is not a trigger, this is an actual wire running from inside the vehicle through this connector, bypassing the RTMRs and delivering power directly to the turn signals. The parking lights wire will be an 18 gauge. The rest of the wires on this side will be 22 gauge. Let's slide over to the other side. We have pretty much the same exact situation on this side. The bottom 2 wires for the turn signals will be 18 gauge and the rest of them will be 22 gauge. Let's take a look at the connectors next to the lights. So this is the retractor connector, as you can tell by the labeling. What I've done on all the connectors is made pin 1 always ground. So it makes it very simple. If you're ever wondering what you're doing in the front of the car, you see pin 1, it's ground. When we get to the turn signal assembly, right turns blue, left turns green. I didn't bother putting both connectors on the screen. They're wired exactly the same. Parking light is just yellow. And the horn is a little bit different than all of them. There's only one wire, and it's the positive wire to the horn. The horn grounds through its body through the chassis, so it provides its own ground. So there's only one wire to the horn on each side. And remember, when these wires leave the RTMR, sending power to the lights and horn and whatnot, they are split into 2 wires, one wire for each side of the car. And I realize we haven't talked about the cooling fan connector, and that is because the cooling fan has not been chosen yet. But basically it'll leave from here as a 10 gauge, go to the connector, come out of the other side of the connector, the ground wire grounded to the chassis, probably about 2.5 feet long. So very simple.